my God almighty, I'm heading to the barn. It's just after 8 o'clock, and it is colder than a stepmother's kiss. Oh my God. +1 for you Americans that absolutely refuse to join the real world and go metric. That would be just a tick over 32. Well, I would have to say, in all fairness, in all honesty, Globetrotting was even better than I thought she'd be last night. Not that I thought she couldn't race with those fillies. I think anybody that watched that race and didn't think that if we made it into the final and we drew favorably that I couldn't race with any of those fillies is, I think, a little wrong. Fastest last quarter of the race, 1:54.1, after not racing for a month and realistically not having a true good race line for 6 weeks. That's some kind of filly. And these are the types of horses, we'll talk about another horse in a minute. These are the types of horses that continue to make me believe that the model of the stable.ca can work on the world stage. Obviously, we have to rein back our expectations. When you're buying a $21,000 filly, the Breeders' Crown is not on your mind, so to speak. You know, doing good in Ohio, making some money, putting some wins together, getting to the winner's circle. These are things that are on the forefront of my mind in February, March, April when we're training down, and obviously having the year we did with Spend That Money, Compass Rose DC, Globetrotting. Who's the other good filly we had? Spend That Money, Compass Rose DC. Oh, Ailson, she raced in she had a bad end of the year, but nevertheless, training these fillies down. Now, having said Ailson, you can see the difference between a horse that can move forward with speed comfortably and a horse that struggles a little bit with that very tiny last hurdle of sheer speed and the ability to mature and put that all together. Ailson looked as good as any horse on the first night she raced, and then wasn't that she tailed off. She had some issues she was dealing with. She had some things she was trying to overcome and struggled with those demons, if you will, physical demons, if you will. And horses like Globetrotting and Compass Rose DC were able to push forward. Then you had another horse like Spend That Money that struggled with the heat. And I just talked to some clients last night about this, and I said, we're always trying to change. And I'm almost thinking to myself, I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but we've had, and every stable has them, but we've had horses that have struggled in the heat with the allergies. Spend That Money did. West 52nd did every year. White Tiger did. Although White Tiger was able to overcome it at 2, it played a much more major role, I think, at 3 with him. And then, of course, you look at horses on this side of the border that were racing. How's that filly's name? Need Your Opinion was definitely one. A couple of those horses, I think, could have been better towards the end of the season had we raced good in July. And then as those allergies started to hit, those horses started coughing, we started drawing blood work, and their blood wasn't bad. I think maybe we should have just shut them down. Just stop with them until August 1st. Start to train them back a little bit and have them as ready as we could have them for the latter part of the season. Hopefully get into their prospective finals or semifinals or consolations. And if they're good enough, then look at the Harvest Series that we're in right now, or, heaven forbid, the Breeders' Crown or something of that nature. I believe there's an appetite for that, and I'm thinking after 3 years of dealing with this, with babies, large groups of babies, if you have 2 colts and one of them's a little sick throughout the summer, you just chalk it up to, he's a little sick, I just didn't have a great summer. But the reality of the situation is that horse is dealing with allergy problems, and we had some horses that were dealing with allergy problems. Now, looking at this, as we changed the way we vaccinated, we had less horses sick this year. We did. We literally did. So that worked. I believe we need to tweak our system again to be able to recognize these allergy issues. it would be much easier, much more cost effective also, to scale these horses back for the month of July, start to get them ready, have them ready for the end of August. You've missed what? 2 stake races in Ontario, maybe 3. Given the horse and their ability, there are other doors that open up with that type of strategy. So these are things that I'm thinking about as I move forward. And obviously, the bulk of our stake season came to an end last night, but not quite. Not one. I got home. I was happy. I told everybody, win, lose, or draw, I was going to leave the track happy last night because I knew what kind of filly Globetrotting was and the likelihood of what kind of filly she would become. And that's pretty evident. It's pretty obvious that that's the case. She's going to be a tremendous horse. I said it in the summer quietly to a couple of people. We've had some pretty good horses. She might be the best horse I've ever had, ever in my life. And, I get home with a smile on my face, and somebody sent me a message. I can't really say exactly what the message said. It said, blank, Swandre. That's all it said. And I said, wow, he must have raced good. Yes, must have raced good. I went in and watched the replay, and sure enough, the old stablemates hooked up. What a year we could have had, or what a year we did have with those horses. White Tiger, yes, Swandre the Giant, all trained down together in our barn. And West 52nd's had a decent run too, but not what they're doing. But nevertheless, again, it goes back to what I opened with the model of the stable.ca. We didn't buy any 6-figure horses this year. We have our eye on a couple that have caught my eye heading into Harrisburg, but I think the model itself, and I keep telling people this, we're trying to build a good stable, a strong stable from top to bottom. Yes, winning last night, beating Swandre the Giant 53-3 in the Pegasus Stakes. Although the best trotters in North America were at the Breeders' Crown last night, there's still some good horses in that stake race. Some good horses that are going to make up the bulk of opens all over North America as 4- and 5-year-olds. We have a top flight trotter, and yes, I want to believe that White Tiger is going to make his way back to that form. He did once, so it's not like we're hoping he got better and he just bottomed out. He already was there. He just has to regain that form. And to have horses like that says a lot about what our barn can do. That's what we're trying to build, and people don't understand that. And as I said to somebody yesterday, Apple didn't start as Apple. It started as a project in a garage, right? Walmart didn't start as Walmart, Amazon. Anyway, you know where I'm going with this, is that we're trying to build this in a responsible way. And for the people that are out there saying, you're buying horses like Yes at $16,000 and hoping they beat Swandre hold on. Swandre the Giant was $17,000. I signed the ticket for him. So I know exactly how much he was, regardless of what they got for him as a 2-year-old. So at the end of the day, we're trying to build something in a responsible manner, in a way that everybody can get in. And I know I can't go buy a $100,000 horse today at London and realistically expect that it's going to be sold out. Okay, he might, because we have 726 clients. But that's one horse. How do I build a stable with one horse? Can't do that. And it makes no sense anyway. Everybody has all this money built into one horse. He turns out to be mediocre or not make the races. Then what? There's everybody's money gone? It's just not cost effective. It's not reasonable. It's not a business model that I believe the everyday person can look at and get involved with. Not unless you're just going to put all your eggs in one basket each year and hope and pray. I think we know how that turns out. It's been turning out that way for 30 years in horse racing. So my answer is simple. We're going to stick to the model that we put in place. I think it's proved it does work. No, not every horse we buy for $16,000 or $17,000 or $21,000 is going to make it to the Breeders' Crown, is going to be sold for $1 million, is going to win stake races. No, you know that, and I know that. We're all big boys and girls. But they can, they might, and they have. So, after watching Yes win last night. I was excited, but this was after I was already happy. So happy with the way that Globetrotting behaved. She was a little green, really hot last night. I haven't seen her like that before. I've seen her where she got a little aggressive, but she was wild last night. She's never been in with horses that she couldn't beat. And getting into the last turn, you can tell a horse that thinks during the race. She just wanted to compete. She just wanted to race. You could see when I got tight with Aki Svanstedt in the last turn, she just wanted to bull her way out. Hey, I love that. I love the idea, but it would have got us in a little bit of trouble. I was just so proud of the way the filly raced, and obviously came home, and then so proud of the way Yes raced. He's been such a meat and potatoes, just grinder his whole life, and I was just really, really happy with him. But as I said, it gives credence to the model we've put together here. For those of you out there that think there's some quick fix, we just go out and buy an expensive horse and race it. It doesn't work that way. There's a reason I put this model in place. One, affordability, so people anybody, any walk of life can get involved. And secondly, that the exposure level is low also. So that if any of the horses we buy today, or any of the horses we bought in Lexington or any other time don't work out, you're not in the food line. You're not down at the Mission getting soup. Anybody that has horses with us, anybody that has any of their money in with the stable, already knows. This is a model built on excitement, built on entertainment, built on fun, and mostly built on disposable income, and that's how it should be. Especially for a game like this, where there's such a razor-thin line between, for somebody that puts a lot of money in and puts a lot of... That line between poverty and profitability is thin. And this is where the game gets tough for a lot of people. So we've tried to take that out. I don't have to tell you. You guys are already involved. I just thought it was... I woke up today, and this is the happiest I've been in a little while. This is a stressful time of year for me. Leaving Lexington, dragging a large box of invoices with me. Coming back to Canada, racing Globetrotting, and everybody was worried, is she going to be tight? How could she be tight after being off 30 days and not having a start in 6 weeks? That's how. Jason prepared her properly. We had her ready to race last night, and as I said, she raced even better than I thought she was. I was so proud of the way she raced, and very, very happy. And then to come home and watch Yes was obviously the cherry on top. Anyway, that is... It's my father calling. That is my little spiel for the morning. I was going to do your videos, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to take some time. I'm pulling into the barn. I'm going to go with some babies. I'm going to be here for an hour and a half. Then I'm going to the sale. Today we have some horses we're looking at. We've had a number of clients reach out and say, hey, what's your price point on this horse or that horse? I'm interested, or maybe that's a little high, or geez, I think that horse will bring a lot more than that. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. But we'll find out. I outlined a number of horses, as I said, regardless of how happy I am now and how euphoric it was last night. I'm still playing pretty close to the script, and the horses that we picked out are the horses I'm going to be looking at. I would be very, very surprised if we brought any horses home that you didn't see a video on from the last 24 hours. So, again, as I said, my top picks of the day... Well, let's roll through them. I roughly know the numbers. Number 17 is the first horse in the ring that we're interested in. Looking at the catalog and looking at the emails from our clients, maybe you're right. Maybe she's going to bring too much. What I thought she was worth, what I thought we could get her for, I was excited to do so. I thought around, as I said, around 18 to 21,000. Maybe I was delusional. Maybe she's going to bring more. Anyway, interesting filly. I like the way she looks. Her name is Century Heiress. Then there was something... Oh, 33 was the next one. That was the War We Was Up. That's the War We Needy colt. Very good-looking colt. For those of you out there looking for Ontario Pacers, I told everybody, we already have a ton of Ontario Pacers. For us. Some that we paid some pretty good money for. And having said that, we do have one client that was looking at buying one of the high-priced Pacers today. But that client was potentially putting a large chunk of money forward. So that makes that easier for me and easier for the stable. So it's a little different situation. Where We Was Up is a horse that I'm really interested in. There's something in the 50s I did a video on. Maybe it was the 150s. No, here he is. Logan's Park, number 54. Really like the way this horse looked. Dean and Ashley Wilson got a great consignment. If you guys are going to London, they got some nice horses there. I feel bad. I'm sure I've met them and I know them, but I can't place them. They got a great consignment, some really nice horses. They got a couple horses out of this entire line, this maternal line, with Undercover Strike in the second. They have the brothered Undercover Strike. Another mare, I believe, has one in there. This colt here looks good, Logan Park. I don't think he'll bring a ton of money. I think he'll do okay, but I really like him. I'm going to watch him go through also. If I miss somebody, I apologize. I don't have this written down in front of me. I'm just freeballing it right now. Thought there was something in the 70s. Oh, yeah. So the horse that one of our clients was looking at purchasing was Twain Sealster, number 72. This was a Better's Delight colt. Older mare, old blood, as he put it, and he's correct, but pretty good blood. 11 foals, 8 winners. This is a 12th foal. Ty Sealster, 10%. Just good horses. So that was Twain Sealster, number 72. Massive Ovation, 74. I don't know if we can get this colt. This is a colt I'm paying very close attention to today. He's a little smaller than the other muscle masses I saw. I know the mare very well. I was the one that won at 158 and 3, the grassroots final. I was one that won with her. Very tough filly. She raced throughout her into her 6-7-year-old age, maybe. $316,000 made. Decent family. Again, if you want to take a real good look at families, and you're focused on one horse in that family, you know what I'm about to say. Simply remove that horse from the family. Look at the rest of the family, and if there's one standout and a bunch of mediocrity, beware. And Mass Ovation, I don't think is that bad. I mean, her brother Euroman was okay. There was a horse in the third dam made $400,000. So decent family, but again, it's all about price with this guy. Now, a horse that's kind of caught in the middle, Tokyo Sealster. I like Tokyo Sealster, but there's a number of horses I like more. He's at the start of the sale. A lot of them follow him, so I don't know if we'll be able to get Tokyo Sealster. I'm going to watch him. If there's enough value, I will, but he is a Sealster horse selling in the Sealster sale, so I suspect he'll bring decent money and will probably pass. We'll see. There was another one I liked through here. Maybe. Oh, so a lot of people ask me about Wickenburg, why I didn't do a video on Wickenburg. I'll be honest. I think Trevor Henry's going to buy the horse, and he's going to end up spending a lot more than I did. Trevor Henry had the mare, Angie's Lucky Star. She did him a lot of good. This was her first foal, and then he told me the other night in the driver's room she died after this foal. So she's had one foal out of a mare that he liked. I just can't perceive a play where he doesn't end up getting this colt, so I simply passed by. I believe that we got a couple more. One of my top picks of the entire day, obviously I know, is in this side. This is number 112. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody on the way. I don't believe I did. I might have, but anyway, Belicio Sanyo is a horse I really like. We talked about this colt. Second dam had Zeb's Fleur. Huge update. This is the second foal from the Dewey Cheatham and Howe mare that made $71,000. Took a 2-year-old mark. I'm looking at a lot of 2-year-old marks on this page, and Zeb's Fleur took a 2-year-old mark of 157 and 4. Made $65,000. Then you have Cameron Hall down in fourth dam. 112 is a horse I think we can buy. I really like. 124 it ends. Anyway, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm sure I missed a couple. But we are going to stay pretty close to script on this one. Probably can't afford 17. Probably can afford 112. Everybody in between, we're going to be watching closely. A couple of horses tomorrow I really like. So, I put it all out there for everybody. For you and anybody watching that isn't a member of the stable, feel free to do with the information what you want. It's my personal thoughts on the horses in the sale and what's going to take place. So I'm heading to the sale with a giant smile on my face. It's going to stay there all day. I know Globetrotting didn't make the final of the Breeders' Crown, but the way I feel, she won the Breeders' Crown. She looked great last night. She proved that she belongs with those fillies. If she matures the way I certainly expect she will, she could easily be a very special filly for us in 2020. And then last night, yes, beating Swandre the Giant in the Pegasus Stakes. Just a huge night for the stable. So, heading to London in a little bit. I'm going to get a couple of horses jogged. Then John Evans, I, and Steve Palermo are going to head down to the sale. I'll be there just before it starts, or just after it starts. The first horse I'm really watching, obviously, is number 17. And then after that, there's only about 5 or 6 today that I'm looking at. And as I said, I really doubt I'll be coloring outside the lines. So if you're interested, if you want to partner with us with a horse today, please let me know. If there's horses you'd like me to check out, I've already checked out all mine, so I'm happy to check out yours also. Anyway, that could easily be the opening for this week's video, but I'm going to send this to you today because I'm happy. Anyway, take care.